One fairly obvious need for the Commanders this offseason is a number 2 wide receiver. Now, I made the point in a recent video that it should be viewed as a number 2 pass catcher need because the same effect could be seen with an upgrade at tight end. They just need someone else who is a consistent threat alongside Terry McLaurin, ideally who can break big plays and do damage in the red zone. But let's stick with the idea of a number 2 wide receiver. I feel strongly they should find that player in free agency this offseason rather than the draft or a trade, and here are a few reasons why. One is that drafting wide receivers in the first round is a risky move in general. Just look at the Commanders' history in doing so. Also, it's a big resource to spend when you already have Terry as the number 1 and you have needs at more important positions like the offensive line and pass rusher. Also, this year's free agent class happens to be pretty deep at wideout. According to NFL.com, 3 of the top 13 free agents this year are wide receivers. T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, and Amari Cooper. They have 7 wide receivers in the top 50. I'm not saying back up the Brinks truck for T. Higgins, who is considered the top free agent prize at any position. However, here's another way of looking at it. With Jayden Daniels on his rookie contract, this is arguably the best time of his career to spend big money at that position. Because if Jayden ends up being good for a long time, he's going to get a massive second contract, and they're inevitably going to have to go cheap at wide receiver someday down the road. You see it with every star quarterback. There comes a time where the onus is put on them to make do with younger and cheaper wide receivers. Wide receiver tends to be like the first place teams cut costs to pay a quarterback, and that quarterback is then asked to make those around him better. So the Commanders should get a guy in free agency, maybe 2, and then use the top draft picks on other positions, but draft at least 1 wide receiver in the middle rounds who can be developed into a starter a year or 2 down the road. That's the way I hope they go about it. We'll see.